Hello everybody! In a podcast created with the support of Huawei company, we will plant seeds for the future. Let me just start in the field of talent. There is a big battle between companies. There are not enough IT students for the needs of the economy, and the society needs a digital boom. Will the future be saved by corporations like Huawei, which offers excellent educational programs? What talents do we need for the new digital future? These are the questions we will answer with the guest of the podcast, Professor Dr. Andrej Kos, head of the Telecommunication Laboratory of the Faculty of Electrical Engineering, University of Ljubljana. Mrs. Katja Mohar-Bastard, Director of the Digital Innovation Center of Slovenia. Mrs. Maruša Podbevšek, participant of the Seeds for the Future program. And Mrs. Gordana Kisilak, Public Relation Manager in Huawei Slovenia. And of course, Dr. Borut Čampel, Secretary of the Ministry of Education, Science and Sport. For the start, what is the key problem and also what is the key for the future? Professor Dr. Andrej Kos.
We know that ICT, information and communication technologies, are the foundation of approximately 40% of growth if we take the average of all industries we've got. So the future holds further transformations or changes of how we work, live, have fun, and much of that is based on ICT, technologies and services. Of course, we need more talents through formal education, and also we need more experts through university programs, expert training and so on. And we need more ICT skilled and ICT skilled people and ICT skills in all sectors. So basically, we need to raise digital literacy for all.
But if we are talking about talents, we need to define them first. Are you with me? So, what is talent anyway? What are the qualities of the person who can be called a talent for the future?
I think talent for the future is proactive and motivated person who has knowledge and will to learn more, wants to success and reach goals. Person has to enjoy his work and work with people that are more successful to be able to progress.
Well, I think that a lot of people have talent, especially young people who are willing to learn and who are willing to open their mind to achieve new things. I think the talent is maybe a really old-fashioned way, is a bit of intelligence, a bit of hard work, and a bit of some enthusiasm to work with certain things.
You know, in Slovenia we have many challenges. The transition to a fully digital society is not over yet. The education system is too rigid to overcome the challenges. We are struggling with too little added value, we have no breakthrough innovation, and of course, the pandemic has shown us strongly the importance of connection and digital infrastructure. We know that industrial digital transformation is the key to economic growth. We are aware that in the global digital economy, digital talents will be key to maintaining and improving Europe's position. But there is a severe shortage of ICT talent in Europe. So, real case are facts. According to the European Commission, about 42% of Europeans do not have basic digital skills, of which 37% are active. So the question is, how to train people for all these innovations? Who do you think is responsible for this?
I think we all are responsible for that, each of us. Teachers in schools, managers in companies, state, policymakers, even young people that decide what are they going to do in future. Also companies that in institutions that need talent, they cannot just wait what the educational system will, let's say, spit out, but they must be active and say we would need this and this in the next 5, 10, 15 years.
Yes, in Slovenia, we can say that awareness is very high, but what we need to change is really to change the reality. So we really need to assure the activities at higher level, especially in the cooperation of all stakeholders. So it means all stakeholders in education, schools, universities, public institutions, but as well as to cooperate with external stakeholders like companies together. Of course, in education, competences and skills are very important to develop. And what we try to do, we already starting the project, where we will really incorporated assessment of digital competences, because we know digital competences are already developed in education, but we need to really have more sustainable and formal assessment. And another point is basic knowledge of computer science. It's schools, and if really the youth would have a smart future, it includes also well-being skills, social competences, and other skills like communication, collaboration, problem solving, and etc. And as I mentioned, we started this year project is co-financed by the Resilience and Recovery Fund from European Union, and we hope we will manage some results. But as I said, also in this project, we will cooperate with many stakeholders.
As we heard, Mr. Kos and Mr. Champel, talent development depends on advanced education system, prosperity in society, even the health system, well-versed human resources and leaders who recognize talents and human potential. And of course, supportive environment is the key to the talent. So the question is, how can we achieve that we preserve talents and even attract them to Slovenia? Mrs. Moher-Bastar and Mr. Champel.
Okay, maybe the first part of the question, how to preserve the talents in Slovenia. I think that we should offer to talents really nice jobs. I'm not only speaking about well-paid jobs, but also work posts which gives young people or talents the opportunity to develop their skills, to prove themselves that they're working good, and also to find their way, what would they like to do in the future, and let them do that, what is in their interest.
Important is, for all students, not only for talent, but all that they really have a safe and innovative environment. And as COVID also show, it could not be only at schools and the most important, but could be also in other institutions, could be outside, could be at home, but could be, important is also the spiritual environment. So definitely this is changed, and this is what we have from what we learned from COVID, and I should mention now also the recommendation from European Union, which were accepted by Council of Europe under the Slovenian presidency about the blended learning. So it involved all these different learning environments. But then if I mention something more about the talents, we know that most of the talent, they don't need really a big motivation to do something like other students or pupils. But they really need to have this innovative, comprehensive and rich environment with technology as well to do, and mentors from schools, from other stakeholders as well. Now in the new financial perspective, we will double our financial part for this. So we hope that we will really change something. But also, for example, our National Education Institute, they also now start to change the methodology, how we should work with those talents.
Well, we heard you, and we hope that your words will be transferred in our reality. Thank you, Mr. Champel.
Yeah, I hope so too. So we can, now is, almost New Year, so we can make wishes, and definitely we wish that also our policymakers and especially decision makers, that they will really change also their awareness and to support actions which we are talking about.
As you may have heard, the Huawei Talent Summit was held in Finland. I mention this because of the excellent link between Huawei's education program and schools in Finland. Because Finland excels in advanced and stimulating and high-quality education system, which is great, and we in Slovenia have to follow those great examples. Especially because at the moment the relationship between supply and demand for talent in IT is such that each student can choose between the 10 jobs offered after graduation. What's more, the forecast shows that demand has exceeded supply for at least another 10 years. So, is it necessary for companies like Huawei to enter the educational ecosystem with their educational programs? Or is our education good enough hub for talent? Mr. Champel.
I think the system should be definitely, the formal education and like this, which you mentioned, like Huawei or some others, should be really complementary, maybe as a first step. So we need to cooperate more to see the program. But of course, the second step, I'm sure it is that we somehow provide this collaboration among formal system and companies like Huawei and others to help teachers to prepare maybe more authentic situations. So this could be the next step. But I don't know, I cannot say now what would be the future, with those ecosystems which are provided only by the companies. But as I said, I'm sure we need to cooperate more. But as you mentioned, this ecosystem from the companies, like this Huawei, are good and they are important.
That's good to hear. But is it even possible to triple the number of ICT graduates? Are there so many people in Slovenia who could be talented for this profession?
Yeah, the goal is that we triple the number of experts in digital world, but it means in all, not only those specialists in ICT, but also others. They need definitely more knowledge and skills. In every job, in medicine, at schools, at other companies which are not so ICT. So definitely, if the society together will need to think about. I agree with you. How we will really make this gap less and less. So this is my answer for now, But as I mentioned before, I think the cooperation and awareness and really start acting is very important, especially in Slovenia.
Actually, ICT is a so broad area that it is suitable for everyone. So it's for girls and boys, young and old. So we can be talented for many things and also for the things we don't know. And sometimes I see that in ICT is just that many very good talented people, young and older as well, are talented for ICT, just they didn't have the opportunity to see how talented they are. So,
but why? Why they don't have an opportunity to see that?
I think because in primary and secondary schools we don't get in touch with ICT so much as we should. Our whole society is very, very much based on ICT, but if you see the primary and secondary school programs, you see that these words like information and communication technologies, computer science, information technologies, and so on, you get these terms in schools, but not as much as it would be needed. I mentioned many times that we would need at least 3 times the number of ICT experts or specialists that we have. I see that how could we get to that is, one is work systematically on attracting the field for more girls or women. That's one thing, so we could get this by the number of 2. And then promotion on all levels, and we would get another 1.5, and this way we could get to the number 3 times more altogether.
In the traditional model of talent cultivation, higher education gives priority to theories and concepts. Is actually cooperation between schools, business and government appropriate?
I think that cooperation is necessary because Slovenia is really small, but not only Slovenia. I think that there is so many things to do that we have to cooperate in all the fields, so we can develop better programs. We can canalize the resources into those programs and really make an effort in the things that are needed. So the cooperation is necessary.
It exists, however, it could be improved. Research cooperation could be improved a lot. I see this in such a way that companies should be involved in, let's say, career path of the students a bit before than just at the end asking if there are some good students at the end of the faculty. And what I see as a challenge and would help a lot is this problem-based learning or learning based on real challenges, interdisciplinary projects and so on. In these fields, the cooperation could be improved a lot.
As you know, in Slovenia, businessmen criticize universities for giving too much priority to theories over practices. Could corporations like Huawei solve this problem with their programs?
We know that in this next financial perspective, the European Union will put many resources in this field, but as well as for teachers. So that's why maybe it's now also the time that we all sit together and discuss how we can also use all these resources, not to to try to find some other solutions, but really to use those resources and but to go further, because I can say that in VET, also especially in Slovenia, in upper secondary in that sector, we have many good practices and or examples, and or as well as in universities, as you mentioned, these from Huawei.
Universities need theory and universities need practice, both. The truth is that there are so many technologies in the field of ICT that not all technologies can be learned at the faculty at the university. Universities should give fundamental knowledge, state-of-the-art technologies, and ability to solve problems, because students or the young people who have lots of challenges, we cannot teach them in schools now because they don't exist yet. And on the other side, each company has its proprietary needs. The knowledge the employees can get only there. And it is not realistic to expect that university would teach students for all and each of the companies. So part of the teaching or learning has to be done in companies as well.
Okay, and now, dear audience of this podcast, which we dedicate to Huawei and the Seeds for the Future program. Before we dedicate ourselves to the students, Mrs. Maruša Podbevšek, who experience study within Huawei, let's listen to Mrs. Gordana Kisilak, who will tell us what the Seeds for the Future project is.
Seeds for the Future Future is Huawei's flagship global corporate social responsibility program. This program aims to develop skilled local ICT talent and bridge communication between countries and cultures. By sharing our ICT expertise and experience in the global business environment, young people from different countries can learn about advanced technologies like artificial intelligence or 5G, for instance. With this, we accumulate ICT expertise and skills through this program, and with this contribute to the progress of the global ICT industry on one hand, but also in all local communities like Slovenia, where the program is active. Because this program helps develop local ICT talents, as I just said, and enhance knowledge transfer, promote a greater understanding and in the telecommunication sector, but also improves and encourage regional building and participation in the digital community.
But Gordana, how many students have already participated in this program and how successful are Slovenian students in this program?
Since the beginning of the program in 2008, more than 8,700, so almost 900 top talents have benefited from the program, and from more than 130 countries and regions have joined the program worldwide. And we are very proud that since last year, so now the second year, we have the program also in Slovenia. And Slovenian students are very successful. More than 90% of students finished the program. And I would like to point out that the participation of students in Global Tech for Group project. With this project, Slovenian students get to know how to leverage technology to address social and environmental issues. And Slovenian students were also very keen to understand current trends and how technology can assist with solving complex global challenges. And they had the opportunity to build a problem-solving and leadership skills through the teamwork, which they do. And they successfully are in the finals of this global project. So we wish them all success at the finals.
Yes, of course. Is this program for everyone, or how can students apply for the program?
The program, Fit for the Future, is meant for undergraduate and young graduate students who are inspiring talents, and they can apply through the Fit for the Future official website and also through a local Fit for the Future content. And they have criteria to meet, and then they successfully participate and are able to join the program.
That sounds really good. So the program of the international cooperation Huawei Fit for the Future serves as a bridge between business and schools and helps build a talent ecosystem for the ICT industry. And how did student Mrs. Maruša Podbevšek experience this program?
It was very interesting. We had possibility to learn from experts from all over the world, and we could ask them questions about information technology, leadership, and even about Chinese marketing strategies on their social platforms. We gained new knowledge and implemented it on case study competition.
Do you think that schools in Slovenia should include in their process programs as implemented by Huawei? What would change?
I think schools in Slovenia should encourage their students and provide them information about programs that include team working, case studies, and active participation. Students would be able to deepen their knowledge, understand how theory is put in practice. They would learn dynamics of working in a team, and because of international cooperation, they would be able to understand different views of things.
I'm interested in your opinion about work of the future. What advice would you give to your future leaders to create an environment that would motivate you, inspire you, and above all, keep you here in Slovenia?
I think that that generation is motivated by non-routine work. We want to solve challenges and we want to have possibility to gain new knowledge in our work environment. I would be inspired by ambitious environment that enables career progress and especially supports employees and values and considers their ideas and opinion.
Maruša Podbevšek, do you think that could Slovenia become a new Silicon Valley, or that is not an option?
I think it is hard for Slovenia to compare to Silicon Valley, but with more programs like Seeds for the Future, Slovenian future employees would have more skills and knowledge. Especially good would be if programs would be available to high school students to try their knowledge in practice.
After this program, Seeds for the Future, can you tell me, are you different? Do you have some different points of view about the world or the society or the business or technology?
I have gained new knowledge about technology, deepen knowledge, better understand it. I think it is good for me because I cooperate in a team. I had to cooperate in a team. I learned about that. I learned about Chinese culture. I also met other participants from other countries, and I think that is great and beneficial for us.
So, Maruša, you are a Cosmo girl, and I have this impression that you have a very good future in front of you.
Thank you.
Cooperation is therefore the key to success. Let's look at the pros and cons of cooperation between universities and large corporations. Dr. Kos.
I would say the pros are really challenges, interdisciplinary challenges, teamwork, and very important for young people, reality checks. That means that you work on something that's currently a hot topic, or like the young sometimes say the technologies that are cool now. On the other side, there's so many technologies that if, for example, there are special needs of corporation on some companies sometimes these technologies are not so common, and maybe they are too focused for one corporation, one company. So we could not take everything what the corporation says as granted as or the best for the students. So we have to think what's fundamental, what's general knowledge, what's currently hot topic, what will be in the future, and so on.
Dear listeners, for a moment we move from education to practice, to real life. The most breakthrough innovation happen in startups. Can big corporations survive without innovative startups where the best talents of the future work? Mrs. Mohar-Bastar.
Big corporations must cooperate with startups and innovative. Yes, I agree with that. I think that's good for both because corporations, they have maybe more rigid system because it must be because of their organization, but still they have to use advantages of the agile systems, which are startups and small companies, which can find new solutions, innovative approaches, change their modus operandi during the night, and find something new when that is needed.
Mrs. Katja Mohar-Bastar, innovation is key to the growth, survival. There is an innovative paradox. What does it mean? What advice do you have for companies to shake off the fear of the innovation that requires time and money, but not always necessarily success?
Okay, so yes, Slovenian mentality is really not doesn't like failures. We don't support somebody to fail, but I think that we have to come across that, because you can learn a lot from that. The second thing is that you can always have a department for research and development which is dedicated to innovative solutions, and also usually that is connected to international tenders or national tenders or applications to those. And we all know that it takes a lot of time and the success is not guaranteed, and you have to input a lot of resources into that. But because of the possible result, which can be positive, I think it's worth to keep on going with that. So maybe to dedicate resources for the department or for some people who deal with innovation, with the tenders, and hope maybe to lower KPIs and not count on those resources from the tenders, you can be pleasantly surprised. Maybe to put off some pressure of those people and not make them feel guilty if they fail.
As you know, Slovenia can boast of an excellent promotion at the Center of Innovation at Wonderful Expo 2021 in Dubai, as well as with the excellent success of students in programs such as Seeds for the Future. Could Slovenia maybe become a new Silicon Valley?
We truly believe in inspiring talent around the world, and we support global talent that can shape the future. And yes, with projects and initiatives in Slovenia, we truly believe also in young Slovenian talent.
So let's open up to a new future in the company of new talents and enjoy all the best that the future has to offer. Dear audience, thank you very much for your time and your attention. And of course, thank you to all the speakers for their wonderful thoughts and courage actions that will lead Slovenia and the whole world to a better future. Thank you and see you soon.